The UK went from being the only superpower in the world and the most destructive country in history to now crying whenever American people decide to joke about our serious dental allegations. Let's not talk about teeth. The UK had a bigger fall off than Kanye. Britain has a reputation of being sophisticated, beautiful, and a powerful country. But this reputation is now completely fraudulent. We do not deserve the good name we somehow have. Many myths have been made up about the UK, like a lot of things are said that just aren't true. From false stereotypes such as British people being friendly, to others like Britain has nice housing and doesn't look dystopian. I will be debunking these myths and be giving my completely unbiased, non-hyperbolic view of the UK. So, I said before, the UK's reputation is based around us being sophisticated, beautiful, the country, not the people, obviously, and being powerful. It is a nice country to live in, but it's just depressing and slightly dysfunctional. We'll start with the one true claim about the UK, which is that the country is beautiful. And that's true, but exclusively for like 90 days of the year in spring and summer. If you avoid the big cities and go to a county like Sussex, Hampshire, Cornwall, or Devon, or some parts of Wales and Scotland, then yeah, it's genuinely one of the best places on earth for natural beauty. As a sworn British patriot, I have complete right to say that. But any time other than those 100 days of spring and summer, the disgusting endless grey will infect you with English depression and make you feel the pain of what it's like to be a bald, fat English guy who has only tasted cigarettes and beer whilst working as a bricklayer for the past 30 years. You know, the Tony Soprano build, but he's Angloid instead of Italian. I don't know why the grey sky in the UK carries some unique level of dread. The only time I get the same awful feeling is when I see grey soulless corporate buildings, or when nature, the only good thing about this country, is replaced with a Tesco with a 300 space car park. There has to be some sleeper agent chemical in my mind that's genetic, that starts attacking my brain when I see corporate monstrosities or the grey blanket sky that suffocates the UK. I know I'm immediately living up to a stereotype of British people by complaining about the weather, which is genuinely true, all jokes aside, but you have to understand my lack of vitamin D and what it does to me. We are deprived of the sun on this cursed island. Living here is what it feels like to go hollow. No joke, I think Dark Souls perfectly manages to capture the existential dread and meaninglessness of what it's like to live in the UK. Bro, load up Dark Souls 3, go walk through Farron Keep, and you'll see what it's like to go through Slough Town Centre. And I haven't even mentioned the rain yet. Obviously it rains here most of the time, but that honestly makes it better, as it just justifies staying inside and avoiding having any serotonin pulled from my brain by seeing the grey sky. Architecture here also goes hand in hand with the weather. It's like our governments have all invested in formulating modern architecture to be as bleak as it can. Firstly, most town centres have died and actually only have 4 stores. Gambling stores, charity or thrift stores, evil British fast food places, and a small supermarket. Fuck us citizens, I guess. There's a genuine epidemic of gambling stores in the UK. See, I live in the same city that used to live in when, and where I live, there's 4 different gambling stores alone in this local area, which is crazy. Brutalist architecture is very prevalent in the UK and was popular from the 50s to the 80s. I feel like everyone knows what brutalism is by now, as it's quite popular, but if not, it's a style that is inspired by Soviet social housing, designed to be minimalist and plain. It basically makes areas look like a post-Soviet dystopian country. As if we needed more grey buildings here. The government actually thought, we need to make every building bland concrete blocks for 30 years. Why this country so cooked, bro? Bro, why is there such a consistent theme within the UK and the colour grey? Pretty much any building that isn't modern corporate minimalism or brutalist is made out of bricks here, so you get a mix of shitty buildings wherever you go in an urban area. I don't even mind the shape of the actual buildings, but please, just give them more colour, bro. Everything is either grey, brown or orange. Like, it cannot be healthy to live in a world with no colour like this. Britain is so far away from Eastern Europe and ex-Soviet places, and somehow their architecture still managed to spread here. Thank you, Lenin, you f***ing idiot. The damage you caused decades after your death has made me depressed. F*** you. Britain is not sophisticated. Maybe 200 years ago, the UK deserved the reputation of being sophisticated.
Oh my god, bro. Oh, hell no, man.
The UK is referred to as the country of gentlemen, commonly in Japan, which is insane, as I, a UK citizen, have lived in multiple places here and have witnessed the sophistication firsthand. It doesn't exist. I'll be 100% real, I don't think Japan knows what the UK is actually like, because British subcultures are like the cultural opposite of Japan's. It feels like a lot of other countries around the globe have this perception of the UK as being reserved, well-spoken, and educated.
And he's only saying what we all think. Shoot them when they're coming off the boats.
Ooh, are we all? I'm not thinking that. Are you thinking that?
Oh, you're a woke.
Why is it woke to not murder people now? Is woke not murder?
No, there's a dude.
Which is true for like 25% of the population probably. There's no way the remaining 75% of people here hit that criteria. A good starting point is the fact that 18.5% of adults in the UK are documented to have very poor literacy skills. How are we a first world country and we have these embarrassing America-like statistics? Only America should have statistics like that. America's the joke of the first world, not us. And Americans, you catch a lot of strays in my videos. I would have sympathy for you, but you guys decided to vote in a certain person to be president. I hope the cheaper eggs were worth it. Obviously, Britain has a rich cultural history, which I'm not talking about. I mean, even today, we're still very culturally rich. However, there's one big issue with culture now, and that's that 80% of it is based around alcohol. I truly don't know what most people would do here if they didn't have alcohol. Most people seem to exclusively only be able to bond over beer, which honestly might just be a European thing, as many European countries share this genetic weakness to craving alcohol. But the main problem is that when British people drink, they become absolutely feral. The amount of dumb shit I've seen people do and how quickly they turn from being nice to evil is very impressive. People will go from wanting to just have a fun conversation to smashing bottles over their own heads and wrestling naked after 5 beers. I have personally been in a bar and see 3 guys who were friends start fighting each other and a female bouncer because they didn't like the bouncer's haircut. How does that even happen? The mental process to get from, I just like this person's hair, to, I'm gonna hit my best friend of 14 years in the face, is crazy. And you're probably thinking, surely this is rare. Nope. It's ingrained in British culture that once you've consumed alcohol, you suddenly think you're Tom Aspinall and can take on anyone. It's also a very British thing to do reckless stuff when you're drinking. I've seen 2 guys run through the street when I was outside a different bar in once. They were butt naked at 11 PM. Butt naked. 11 PM. 11 PM is not late for nightlife. How are they already that level of drunk to be doing crazy stuff like that? And the best part about it is that they didn't come back the same way, so I don't know what happened to them or their clothes. However, the 25% of Britain that isn't like this is actually such a benefit to the world, as they do not have alcohol problems and can socialise without it leading to them rivaling asylum patient behaviour. We do have some amount of cultural, economic and political influence, so thank you Britain for shaping modern societies, even with the insane behaviour and recklessness of young adults. Britain is not powerful. Okay, so this one's more of a cultural thing than economic. The UK is powerful.
The mighty sun.
But British people want you to think our country is on the same level as China or America. They live in some delusional alternative reality where the UK is a superpower. Big dog, we're not built that way. We get little broed by America, China, Germany, Japan, France, and India. I'm sure British people hearing me say that we're less powerful than France will definitely spark some rage inside of them. We are basically just slightly above most of Europe in terms of power and influence. Now, the UK is the 6th richest country on the planet, We have a service economy which is 82% of our GDP, which is expected, but is purely because of financial services. If it wasn't for London, the UK would still be stuck in the Middle Ages, filled with peasants using wooden rakes to defend off invaders. London is one of the most important cities on the entire planet, so all you dumb in the comments of the last video who were crying about London, you would still be in a log shack wearing rags if London didn't exist. Real peasant shit. And yes, we know people get stabbed in London, but the crime rate is still relatively low compared to most other capital cities in Europe. If Microsoft decided to do a little trolling and turn off the Excel servers for one day, London would implode, and so many huge businesses around the world would be damaged irreparably. The list of London-based companies is insane. Most of the UK and Europe's biggest public companies are based in London, and 75% of Fortune 500 companies have offices in London. So the UK is basically only significant on a global stage because we have good financial services. And yes, I know, the London glaze is crazy. Whilst we have a lot of income from these services, British people are too busy crying about propaganda and the price of meal deals and Freddos to be taken seriously by any other country. Even JD Vance, the guy with a head fatter than his body, bullied us in an interview. That's how over it is for the UK, bro. Obviously, this video is a joke. The comments on my last UK video were insane. The automatically hidden comments were even more insane and filled with racism, mostly directed at me. It's so funny to read though, as just joking about the UK made them have this much hate for me. So don't take this video too seriously. You guys can let me know of any video ideas you have. I'm interested in your ideas. Thank you for watching, please subscribe and share the video. I'm trying to hit 10k subs by July. That's the biggest goal I have right now. Also, follow my Twitter and Blue Sky. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.